Good morning, everyone. Om Shanti. And I think most of you would know Om Shanti. And the meaning of Om Shanti is I am peace. So while you're listening to this, we're going to have a commentary, a recorded commentary from Sister Janti, who's the director of the Brahma Kumaris in Europe and Middle East. And she's going to be talking about who am I? Om Shanti.
Exercise. This next exercise is an experiment to be able to discover how to direct my own thoughts. I sit quietly. My thoughts focus in the center of my forehead. I journey into my own inner world. I discover a whole world within my own being. I am the eternal being of light. And within myself, I have the capacity to choose whichever type of thought I want to create. For a few moments, I want to direct my thoughts into the consciousness of eternity, the awareness of truth. Who am I? I know that this body was created at a specific time. It has a beginning. It has a fixed lifespan. And so, at some point of time, later or sooner, the time span will run out and this body will finish. But I, the being of light, am eternal. I existed before this body was shaped, and I will continue to exist after this body finishes. I exist beyond the limits of time and space. I, the being of light, have a form that is infinitesimal, just a point. Everything contained within point. I, the point of light, am immortal. In this awareness of eternity, of going beyond the limits of time and distance, I'm able to have a glimpse of truth, that which is reality, that which is unchangeable, that which is the constant anchor of the universe. I stay in this awareness of I, the being of light, and touch truth itself.
Om Shanti. So if I have that understanding that I am peace, it's a wonderful feeling. It's a new perspective. It's a new way to look at life. That when I wake up in the morning to think, I am peace. Wherever I go, let me spread that peace, that fragrance, that beautiful quietness of peace, something that's so lacking in the world. And while we've got this time because of the coronavirus, it's actually given us a really good gift that we've got the time to really look within the self and see what needs to be improved. What can I do to let go of any weaknesses or defects I have and focus on the positive? And my whole life will change. And I'd like to go over the 3 eyes that we have. So the first eye is the eye of superiority. And you'll identify with the 3 of these eyes. The first one, superiority. I'm better than anyone else. I know. They're stupid. You know, they're lesser than me. I'm better than anyone else. And the third eye is the eye of inferiority. One is superiority. The other end of the scale is inferiority. I'm no good. No one likes me. Everyone else is better than me. I'm hopeless. And that also is takes away all our energy. But the eye in the middle of the superiority and the inferiority is self-respect. And self-respect is my true nature. To respect myself, to feel I'm a child of God, the Supreme. I'm here for good. I'm put on this earth to do good. And that's such a happy way to live our life. So we can look at ourselves and see every thought, every action. Is it superiority? Is it inferiority? Or is it in the middle? The self-respect. And when I can respect myself, I can respect everyone else. And no one in this world is perfect. No one. And so I can overlook my own mistakes and I can overlook others' mistakes. I can forgive and I can forget. because the situation's come and gone. Even if it's 1 minute ago, it's come and gone. And if I'm spending time on that, I'm missing out on this minute, which is really perfect and beautiful. And I have at this minute a chance to say something kind or do something kind or put some positive input into the situation. So the situation has passed. Why should I keep it in my mind? If I'm generous, I can open my mind and let it go. And I saw this in our director of the Brahma Kumaris in Australia, Dr. Nirmala. She used to live with us, and I heard people say terrible things about her, criticizing her, arguing and everything, and she would just be silent. And the next minute she would talk to them as though they hadn't said anything. And I was amazed. And she just continued with life as though that incident hadn't occurred. And so let's be generous. Let's have a new perspective of letting go, of bringing positivity into it. And remember who I am. Om Shanti. I am peace. And I was thinking of a story about this friend of mine, and she's very calm and very quiet, very beautiful, lovely nature. But when she got in the car, she used to get all anxious and upset and sometimes angry with other drivers and call out to them and everything. And her little son, he used to say to her, "Mummy, Mummy, say Om Shanti, say Om Shanti." As soon as she said, "Om Shanti, I am peace," she changed back to her true nature of kind and gentle, and she stopped and let other cars go past, and she was happy, and they were happy, and the little son was happy, and all because she realized who she is. Peace. Peace. So let's look at ourselves and see. You answer the question for yourself. At this very moment, am I patient? Am I patient? Am I patient? Because Daddy Janki, who recently passed away, the head of the Brahma Kumaris, she said the 3 most important virtues in our life are patience, patience, and more patience. So we can just ask ourselves at every given moment, am I patient? Am I relaxed? Am I happy? Or, if I look at myself truthfully, am I impatient? Am I tense? Am I upset? Do I feel sorrow? And then ask myself, which do I prefer? To be patient, to be relaxed, to be peaceful, or to be impatient, tense, and upset, or full of sorrow? Which do I prefer? And then I can create my own life. I can be who I want to be. I have that power. And especially if I'm linked with the Supreme, I have double power. It's like I have 2 engines going for me. And I can really be who I want to be. Why should I be something I don't like? And I can look in the mirror and I can say, I love you. I look, sometimes the soul shines through the eyes, and I can smile at myself and say, I love you. You're a good, good soul. And really have that self-respect. And then I can give it to others. It's not a thing to be selfish about. I can share with everyone I meet. And when I can't meet them, they might be living in another state in Australia or overseas. I can send those thoughts to them, because thoughts are actually more powerful than words, and they travel with such speed that, you know, you've had yourself the experience, you think of someone and the next minute they ring. How come they rang at that time? And you say to them, I was just thinking about you. But the thought got there. We just don't realize the power of thoughts. And another very powerful thing in our life is appreciation. And Sister Janti, who spoke that commentary, she was giving a talk one day and we were listening to it. And she said in that talk, today, I want you to think of 100 things that you appreciate. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, that's going to take ages to do that. That's 100 things that I appreciate. So as soon as the class was finished, I started to do it. And within a very short time, I'd found 100. A very short time. And then she said, after that, each day think of 10, which I did. And then she said, then you can go to 5 and keep it at 5 for all time. And I've been doing that every night. I've been doing that. And it makes me feel so happy. Just little things that I appreciated during the day. Might be the sunrise or the sunset, or someone said hello to me, or I saw a little flower or a little bird. Could be any little thing like that, but collecting them every day, and they build up and build up and build up. And I feel so appreciative. You know, just to have friends, have family, just to belong to God. So many, many things that we can appreciate. And let go of defects, let go of weaknesses, and spread that happiness around. So Brahma Baba, he was the founder of the Brahma Kumaris, he also had a very good sense of humour. And I think that's important in our life too. Often I take myself too seriously. And I think it's really good if we can just laugh at ourselves sometimes and just be light. And one story was that Brahma Baba was outside in the garden, and he was, his hands were in the dirt, and he was in old clothes and everything. And a businessman came, and this is in India, and a businessman came, and he came up to him and he said, I've come to see Brahma Baba. And Brahma Baba said, oh, just a moment, I'll go in and get him. And he went inside and he had a quick shower and he put on clean clothes and he came out dressed suitably and said good morning to the businessman. And they were talking about something, and then the businessman said to him, who was that was working in the garden before? And Brahma Baba said, oh, my younger brother. So he was just, you know, it wasn't the truth, but he was just making light of it, you know. So he wanted the businessman to be happy, so he just said, oh, it's my younger brother. And I think just to be light is a very good blessing. It's a really lovely way to be. And also, there's a lot of problems in the world, and we have to realize that a lot of people are going through sorrow and difficult situations. And what happened with me is people would be telling me their sorrows and their obstacles and everything, and I would very easily get upset, and they would see me crying, and they would say, oh, not only have I got all these problems, but now I've upset Sally. And I felt bad and they felt bad. And with a new perspective, what I do now is if someone's telling me a story, I listen for the virtues in that person. I listen for the values and virtues in what they're saying. So if they're telling me a story, I might hear patience, or I might hear that they've got courage, or I'll say to them, wow, you know, you did an amazing thing being so forgiving. How could you be so forgiving? I would say things like that now that makes them realize how good they are and realize that they have the potential to overcome that problem. I wouldn't tell them how to overcome the problem, but I would just give them that feeling that they could find the solution. And they would go away feeling so happy. Okay, I've got this problem, but I'm patient. I've got this problem, but I'm forgiving. I've got this problem, but I've got courage. And they would go feeling worthwhile. And sometimes if someone's problem was so bad and I really couldn't hear any virtue in them, I would say to them, I really appreciate your trust in me, that this problem is such a difficult one, but you trusted me to tell me about it and to share it with me, and I feel valued. I feel important in your life, and thank you. And then they go away feeling worthwhile. And so I then feel that I've given something, and they feel as though something good in them has been discovered, has been noticed, has been valued. So again, a new perspective. So every moment we're creating our life. I think you all understand the idea of karma, meaning what I do will return, what goes up must come down, and whatever happens, whatever we do, we get the return of that. So the more we can value people and the more we can lift them up and cherish them, the more we can respect them, the more that will come back to us. And we don't do it for that reason. That makes a business out of it. I do it because of what I'll get out of it. We don't do it like that. But that just is the result. That the more we try to help others, the more we will help ourselves, the more that help will return. And the world will become a better place. The world will become a better place. So I think meditation helps a lot. And meditation's not a difficult thing. We call it yoga, and yoga means connection. So I am connecting with the Supreme. That picture that you see up the back is just a picture of the Supreme. The Supreme is just a tiny, tiny little point in the middle of that picture. And we've actually got a battery behind there to light it up, and so it's eternally lit. And you notice in churches or synagogues or religious places, they have a ever-lit light to represent the Supreme. And that connection between the soul here in the center of the forehead, which is me, to connect to my father, mother, teacher, friend, everything, the Supreme, or the divine, however you like to look at that soul. So the connection. And so I can do that meditation anywhere. I could be working in the garden, I could be going for a walk, I could be cooking, I could be reading, I could be doing anything. I connect the yoga, that's I connect the soul with the Supreme Soul. And straight away that current comes. And someone will say, well, I can't see the Supreme Soul. How can I talk to someone that I can't see? But what do we do on the mobile phone? We talk to people we can't see. We can do that. And so it's a beautiful practice, and it's very easy, and it just makes us more positive, more powerful, and able to cope with everything, and also more loving. And then if we can pour that love into every action we do, then our whole life changes and the world is uplifted. So we just need to think not of sorrow, but of what positivity we can bring into the world. When the sorrow comes to our mind, transform it. Don't absorb it. If we absorb it, we increase it. But if we transform it into something positive, well, if someone's suffering, I'm not going to take that sorrow. I'm going to give positivity, give love, give kindness, so that their sorrow will be less. If I absorb it, it becomes more. If I transform it, their sorrow becomes less. So that's another new perspective that we can bring into our lives. And I think if we have the feeling that everything is for my benefit, and not that everything's there to get me, you know, it's like, it's for my benefit. I'm going to learn something from it. It's going to be something that's going to make me a better person. And one of my grandsons, when he was at school, he studied maths. He loved maths, and he studied problem solving. And he used to say to me, the harder the problem it is, the more happier I am, because it's a challenge for me. And he really loved it. And now I think to myself, every situation, it doesn't come to make me fall, it doesn't come to hurt me, it comes to make me stronger and braver and happier. So it's a different way of looking at problems, and also to have the faith that that will pass. If you're going up in an airplane and you come to clouds and you go through the white clouds and it seems like there's nothing but clouds, and when you go through, there's brilliant blue sky the other side. I saw it once when I was in a plane. Brilliant blue sky, and the problem is gone. The clouds have disappeared. You can't see them anywhere. And so if we can look at problems and difficulties in a different way, and how this time is for us to really take time to look within and ask ourselves questions in a loving way. How do you feel? You feel patient or impatient? Which would you prefer? And then change it. And make it into something that's going to make you happier and make everyone else happier. So I think probably I'll stop there and I'll just speak a little commentary for you. So if you can just relax and you can look into my eyes, or you can look into the picture up the back there, and just gently rest your eyes. I, the soul, the tiny point of light in the center of the forehead. I, the soul, am peace. What does it feel like to be peaceful? I, the soul, am love. I am spreading that love around the whole world. To those who are afraid, tense, in sorrow, I send love. I send peace, knowing that my thoughts will reach where they need to go. Gently send those thoughts, those vibrations of peace and love around the globe, not missing out on one country, not missing out on one soul, reaching everyone in 1 second. How fast thoughts travel. Sending out peace, sending out love, uplifting the world through kindness, letting the Supreme Soul work through me, sending the highest thoughts, the most elevated, uplifting thoughts, peace, love, happiness. Om Shanti. I, the soul, am peace.